What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Spandau Ballet, and we're back with the final tune on their 1982 album Diamond, at least the proper album. Hansel has shared a number of albums where in the folder there will also be some extra non-album tunes from the same period, so I don't know in the moment whether that's the case for this album, and if it is, we'll go through them, but yeah, I do believe Missionary is the last track on Diamond, or is it Diamond or Diamond's plural? I always forget. Diamond's singular, okay? Now fair to say, I reacted to an Operation Ivy tune by this name probably like a full year ago, and probably back when my videos were like, I was still trying to get the sound right, and, you know, I don't think the framing was right. Bottom line, I'm annoyed by my earliest videos, but you know, whatever, I was figuring out what I was doing, bonking my head against the wall, so to speak. Nevertheless, yeah, as I talked about in that video, Missionary, you know, it's used in some different ways, but generally speaking, whether it's an overt religious missionary or someone who goes about advocating for a certain, you know, way of life or, you know, a cultural movement or some form of group activity, generally speaking, it's someone who's trying to convince others of the validity and the desirability of whatever it is they're conveying, offering, or providing. So, yeah, like Missionary in the Operation Ivy song, you know, they were a short-lived but you know, withering ska punk band with a lot of, you know, socially and politically critical lyrics. I don't expect it to be that overtly, again, you know, social or politically critical, but ultimately it makes me wonder whether we're talking about a more literal missionary, a more pop culture usage, just anyone who, again, is advocating for something, and what that means. Because generally, you know, missionaries don't proselytize among people who are part of their own society, right? They go out into groups and communities outside their own to try to convince them that whatever they have is worth the time, interest, and perhaps investment required. So, yeah, curious to hear, you know, how and if all these ideas may come into play. Fair to say, you know, there was an instrumental that we went through recently from them, so, you know, I have no idea the degree to which this one will feature lyrics and, you know, overt lyrical themes. So I guess let's find out. This is Missionary by Spandau Ballet, the last track on their 1982 album Diamond. Feels like it's maybe picking up where the last one left off, which there were some different takes on, I noticed. I love that though. I do enjoy hearing different people who've known these songs for a while in different ways. They see them or hear them.
The bells ring out above my room, an announcement of a loss. And in the act, three men decide an indefinite epilogue.
We had like dirge bells, then we're talking about
My letters have all gone,
a
a
script or a
journey
play.
that's unsure. A message that was rich, a hand that was poor.
It's austere, like
Oh,
compositionally.
have me breathe
Hello.
and let me know, 'cause I don't want you to know, 'cause I don't want you to know. Oh, I don't want you, want you.
Can feel them like dialing up the vocal power. That drone.
My own description may have failed, done from pictures that were saved, along with images from words that were saved and not erased. The shelves arranged above my head, a memory of my fears. Blankets hold the smell of life, and soaked in many years. Oh, have me breathe I don't want you to know. 'Cause I don't want you to know. Oh, I don't want you. Want you. I want you.
There's a murkiness to it. Also like a bit of an Eastern flavor, but like Western Asia, not East Asia. Like North Africa. I like that second vocal layer coming in.
Sun doesn't burn when the water comes. The water doesn't come like the English rain. They bury their heads for self-defense. A martyrdom proven through diligence. We are Lord against
So who's doing the secondary vocals?
Lord against us. Lord against us. Vacant rooms that are full of men. Sit on stools awaiting time. Discussion leads to little sense. They bury their heads for self-defense. We are the Lord against us. The Lord against us. The Lord against us.
How's that like, the popular notion of like an ancient Egyptian sound to it? Marching drum too. And this like chorus of the band behind everything. There's like a sonic zombie film. So I don't know, I'm trying to like, where's the missionary? Not sure how to take those clamoring voices in the context of the concept of missionary. Yeah, I didn't catch everything down. I enjoyed the secondary vocals almost more than the primary, which isn't a shot at Hadley anyway. It's just like, I enjoyed the way they came in a bit more like, not monotone, but they were sort of focused and like it was not a straight up spoken delivery, but it was closer to that certainly. And I felt like the tone of the lines in that secondary vocal were like they were a bit different, like more abstract or poetic or something. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. I'm curious. Again, it's like a thing where I get it. Different groups are trying different experimental tracks and so on. But it's like what is that? A 6-7 minute track, something like that. Yeah, over 7 minutes. And it's very like austere and a bit dissonant, and it's sort of brooding and so on. And it's like interesting to me, like if a group came up with a track like that right now and like gave it to their label, I wonder like what would the label say? It's like, so you want me to release this as like a streaming single? Like, I just wonder, like, if the level of, experimentation and eccentricity that I'm going through with a number of late 70s, early 80s groups, if labels would be as on board for that level, like, whoa, this is really different from what you just did. Like, okay, yeah, but I want to try it. It's like, this 8-minute instrumental track. And I just wonder if labels now would be like, I don't know, let's maybe hold off on that for now. Give me another track that's, similar to the one that you just did. Either way, a cool tune, which is interesting though, because I know Innocence and Science, there were some different opinions on that. Some people felt it was basically derivative of Japan. I respect that. I get it. Like, this is after Japan had been doing, some of these instrumental, abstract, Eastern influence soundscapes, a year or two earlier and so on. But ultimately, I did enjoy that journey. So it was interesting to hear the different opinions on it, which I always appreciate. Like I said, it's cool to hear different fans of these groups. Like some songs hit some people really strongly, and other people will be like, yeah, it's a skipper for me. So I'm always interested to see the way that plays out. Now again, I'm a musical omnivore, and even when a tune isn't my favorite I've ever heard, I tend to like hear the parts I like and focus on things that I find of interest. So I guess it works for everybody. So yeah, do let me know what you think of this one. I'll check if there's any more extra tracks in the folder for this album, and if not, we'll go on to whatever the next step is. In the moment, I'm not sure of it. Once again, shout out to Han Solo for sharing this stuff. Do let me know what you think. We'll see you next time. Peace.